Thank you, Professor, for what I presume, because I don't understand Polish, to be a very generous and very meaningful introduction. It was a pleasure to see you again. His Magnificence, Rector of the Jagiellonian University, Professor Wojciech Nowak, Vice Rectors of the Jagiellonian University, including my friend, Professor Peter Ledler, all members and officials of the Krakow Medical Society, the Center for Holocaust Studies, and the Auschwitz Birkenau Memorial and Museum. It is a great privilege to address you in honor of the 68th anniversary of the liberation of the Auschwitz Birkenau concentration camp, and I thank you for this. I must also thank the Los Angeles law firm of Manatt, Phelps Phillips, and especially Scott Fishman and Gisela Soto. Without their help, again this year, with so many details, this video address would not be possible. I'd also like to personally acknowledge the esteemed former concentration camp inmates and Holocaust survivors with us this afternoon, among them Mr. Tadeusz Jakubowicz, leader of the Galicia Jewish community, who I was so privileged to meet and befriend when I visited Krakow last summer. It is a very high honor to welcome everyone to the commemoration of the 68th anniversary of the liberation of the Nazi concentration camp, Auschwitz Birkenau. Having visited Krakow, as I said, only last summer, a visit which included standing in the awesome hall of the Collegium Novum, I understand deeply what it means for you at the ancient and auspicious Jagiellonian University to commemorate the actions of the Nazis, and most importantly, their end. Auschwitz-Birkenau stands as the figurehead atop the vast hierarchy of thousands of labor, concentration, and death camps comprising the Nazis' inverted world. In this inverted world, the innocents found themselves imprisoned at the hands of the perpetrators who were outside the camps controlling it, and yet the true criminals. To live and work in Krakow means you live and work not far from spaces laden with memories of that inverted world. In the main square of Kazimierz, you can't help but see, in the wall of the Ramu Cemetery, the mosaic of tombstones desecrated by the Nazis. A hop from there across the Wisla will take you to the Ghetto and Deportation Monument, the place from which so many innocents were dispatched towards their final journey. Even if one does not regularly travel the short distance between Krakow and the actual camp memorial site and museum, the mere accident of geography forever connects Krakow to Auschwitz-Birkenau, unforgettably. While today the entire world begins a weekend of commemoration of the 68th anniversary of liberation, your commemoration is distinct and special. Your intimacy with the Nazis' inverted world, resulting from the juxtaposition of geography, may at times seem like a burden. That same intimacy is also a gift. It is a gift because you understand the necessity and obligation of remaining aware of the past while moving towards a brighter future. It is a gift because it makes explicit one of the central implicit questions the Holocaust raises about our lives. When the past is so horrible, so painful to all involved, how can we not become entrapped by it? How do we escape the moral black hole that could imprison us all? You answer this question every day with a resounding affirmation for the future. You acknowledge the past, and you embrace its significance by building upon it. Instead of giving in to the dark gravitational forces the Holocaust tries to exert on us, you metamorphose that energy. What I experienced when I visited Jagiellonian University was the same flowering I felt everywhere I went in Poland. In fact, it is a flowering I experienced throughout my relationships across Europe. It is the flowering of a new era, an era that remains mindful of the past but not trapped by it. It is an era truly dedicated to writing new chapters of history, not just new chapters between Jews and non-Jews, or between Poles and Jews, but new chapters between all peoples who wish to live in freedom, who wish to embrace each other with mutual respect, who wish to work together to build a future in which the years since the end of the Holocaust, not just the years since the end, but the years since we prevented another Holocaust, aren't just measured 1 year at a time, 64, 65, 67, 68, but will have to be counted in tens and scores and centuries, the 100th anniversary, the 500th anniversary, the millennial anniversary. One other aspect of life in Poland touched me deeply when I visited the Great Hall in which you sit today. That aspect is the deep awareness of time that comes from living in a land whose own history can be measured in millennia. You know I'm speaking to you from Los Angeles. In Los Angeles, something is old if it dates back to the 1800s. Our oldest street, Olvera Street, was first settled in the 1840s. When my family first moved here from New York, my father pointed this out to me. He said, "Old? In New York, buildings date to the 1700s. Well, I hope someday my father can sit with you in a hall at a university that dates back to the 1300s, in a country whose roots go back well before that. When he does, he will see what you see, the impact of time. You see how history plays itself out with its circles and spirals and repetitions. You see that what is not fixed fundamentally in one era remains a fundamental problem for centuries." So you have two gifts. You have the gift of time. You have the juxtaposition of space. And through today's commemoration of the 68th anniversary of the liberation of Auschwitz Birkenau, you have combined your own gifts to give something invaluable back to the world. You have given us the hope that the new chapter we are writing will not just avoid the dark tragedies of the past. You have given us the hope that the brightness of the future is a true flowering of unity. And for that, I say thank you. And thank you for this honor.